risque, like BDSM leaning, like,
what is that called? Strap?
This video features high-end limited edition collectibles and is intended for adult collectors.
Hey guys, welcome to Toy Chat. This is Max.
And Sang.
And we are officially a couple weeks out from Integrity Toys' second ever virtual convention, the Obsession Convention for 2021. And we are finally ready to get started with part one of our haul, featuring the dolls we purchased and received from this virtual event. This is going to be split into two parts. If we did everything in one video, you know, we ramble enough as it is. So this is going to be two videos. What we're going to be focusing on today are going to be the entirety of the convention collection, the main convention collection, as well as the centerpiece dolls of the virtual events, meaning essentially the dolls that were offered as additional purchase in the main events of this year's con, which there weren't very many convention events this year. There weren't very many centerpieces, I should say. It was a condensed convention, and so yeah, we only have a handful of centerpieces. So this video is going to be convention collection and centerpieces, and our next video is going to cover the Poppy Parker Style Lab and the giveaway dolls, the dolls that we received with no additional purchase beyond price admission.
Last video in our convention coverage videos, we did talk about a bit about their inspirations and the styling of the dolls. We're not going to really cover that this time. We're just going to show you our impressions of the dolls in person, if anything has changed since our initial impressions.
Yes, this is really going to be the stuff that we purchased from the convention, which was everything. Literally everything. And yeah, we're really going to talk about the in-person experience, because obviously the videos we've filmed so far were more about first impressions. We'd only seen promo images, which also, if you guys missed those videos, our initial con coverage, they will be linked in the description below if you want to check them out, but we'll just jump in.
What we should start out with is the convention collection. Let's start with FR. So we have our first girl, Chain of Command, Natalia. And again, the theme of this year is obsession, and so she is obsessed with...
Actually, before we get into that, so obviously now we can see the convention packaging in person. I think the holographic iridescent effect, which I want to say it's a bit of both, because it does kind of refract like multiple colors. I think the packaging is very pretty. It's very simple but pretty.
It's the same design as the Live from Fashion Week, where it is a cover that you removed.
Yes.
So instead of like the flip open one that we got last year, and like the standard, you know, FR boxes where it's a flap that opens up, this is actually a cover that you can open. Some people prefer this version because what you could do is you can actually display them like this.
Yeah,
Some
I will say the color palette, the aesthetic does feel very cohesive in the packaging. I really like the cool purples and, you know, like the silver iridescent logo. I think it's very lovely. As we discussed in our last videos, you know, the theme as a whole did not feel very cohesive, but packaging's lovely.
But yeah, so that's the packaging. It's nice. It's a very universal packaging, which I liked than last year's. Last year with just Agnes's face on it. While it's a gorgeous photo, it doesn't really fit with the overall theme, but this one's really nice.
Yeah, I thought Live from Fashion Week was cool, where the different lines have
I love that. That's
themed packaging.
That's still my favorite packaging.
Yeah, I'd like to see them do that again for conventions, but lovely box. Yeah, for sure.
So again, this is Chain of Command, Natalia, and she is... Have you looked at her?
I have. You know, I got kind of a wonky one, which...
Let me see. She looks better than mine. I don't know what you're talking about. This one looks good.
Okay. I don't know, one eye looks larger to me. But it's funny, I know there's like a lot of differences in the community. There's a lot of people who think that some collectors are way too particular about, you know, eye wonk and things looking different and stuff like that. For me, I just think Natalia in general, I think I've said this in prior videos, I'm not the hugest fan of Natalia and her sculpt in general. She's just not my favorite character. And yeah, this one had the military inspo. I feel like this is one of the ones where the first impression straight out of box, she feels a bit bare and simple. So I feel like I'm gonna want to see her fully dressed to really appreciate her.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, covering the first thing first. I like Natalia's sculpt. I think this is a flattering screening for her. The screening for the W Club one. So the last W Club, Natalia, which I can't pronounce, and I'm sorry, but she has a screening that I don't like this particular screening for her. It's the one where she kind of has like ceiling eyes.
Yeah, isn't it the same screening in the boudoir collection?
Yes.
Yeah.
So like this one is nice. Like her eyes look more even.
Yeah, I am a really big fan of her accessories. Her jewelry is super cute, even though I'm really over these earrings. We've seen this earring style a million times. Mm-hmm. Yeah, her accessories are really cute. I love the little spikes. Those are billionaire baddies, Alejandra's shoes, right?
Yes. That one? Yeah, her gem and her pendant looks really cute. It's like almost iridescent, kind of like clear gem.
She's one of the ones where I would say my impression seeing her in person didn't change enormously from my impressions seeing her in the promos. Mm-hmm. It's Natalia. Mm-hmm. So that for me defines a lot of the experience. But I do think, you know, I think it's funny, I mentioned in our prior video that she is kind of giving me more sexy flight attendant vibes, even though it's like she's supposed to be military themed. I understand it's a military.
I want to say it's not flight attendant. It's more like pilot. Flight attendant don't wear this. They wear little mini skirts and right.
Yeah, more pilot. Regardless, it's you know I got this slight aviation aesthetic.
I think her outfit is an acquired taste if you like suits and more business attire, but you can't deny that it's beautifully crafted. There's like all these seam work on here, there's real buttons, and the panels of color on the side of her pants are really cool. So even if you don't like military aesthetics and, you know, business suits, I think her outfit's cute. I'm
very curious what you guys think of her. Definitely let us know in the comments, because I think this Natalia is going to be one of the more polarizing dolls in the convention collection.
I love her eye makeup.
Yeah, her eyeshadows.
The thing with Jesse is he's very great about like screenings and introducing like very fun makeup palettes. I think she has a very gorgeous eye makeup, and her eyes are beautiful. They're like a aquamarine, like turquoise color with a little splash of green in there and brown.
The eyeshadow is a highlight for sure. The thing that I think it's like the Cinderella icy silvery blue, almost like periwinkle. Yeah, on her eyeshadow, that is lovely.
Oh, just before we move on, her little baggie opens up.
Oh, so her little fanny pack thing? Or not
They're coin purse. They call it a coin purse.
It opens up. Radio? Or like for a radio?
Just like money. Yeah. She also has one on her purse as well. And yeah, it's functional, which is really cool. I thought it was kind of like a plastic piece, but it's made of like faux leather. So next up we have Vendetta, Agnes von Weiss. I have seen her in person already. She is gorgeous. I know some people had an issue with her screening where it's like super light, but I think she looks really nice in person.
As I mentioned when we first saw her promos, she's a lot of red. I do still kind of think, but she's so striking in person. Something that I also think is kind of interesting is the in-person experience with her. It's not quite all the exact same tones of red across her outfit. Like I want to say her skirt is a richer, almost like a blood red, and it's like a slightly more cherry red on her little bodice here. She's lovely. I am, I mean, we're big fans of Agnes here, and I think what really defines this doll and her fashion is the design of it, because even though it's all, very monotone, the design is gorgeous. I love, the little like collar sash over the neck, and then the rest, of the bust is, kind of exposed. And then it looks great. I remember the shot of how she looks from the back, which is really cool in the promos.
Her skirt has a much more interesting fabric than I initially thought, because this isn't tulle, right? This is kind of more like, I don't know what you guys would describe it, but I guess it's tulle, but it's like a different, it's not quite as like thin.
Yeah. There's more texture to it. It feels very textured.
And let me see how many layers there are.
Multiple layers too.
So there's 1 layer, 2 layers of the tulle, and then there's a sheer red fabric underneath. Oh my god, look at your panties, girl.
Oh, love those
That
panties.
is not hiding anything, but...
She has sheer, like, fishnet panties.
So they're the same fabric that's on her sleeves.
On her sleeves.
Yeah. And her accessories compartment consists of her hat that we will never be able to get on. This is the exact same hat as Alejandra, Batty, Billion Dollar Batty. She has hands. Oh wow! They give you replacement gems if they happen to fall off of.
Oh, on the
her
veil. Oh, that's cute. So you can kind of like
replace them if they fall off. Okay,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. I appreciate that. They give you replacement gems. Her accessories are very bare bones in terms of earrings, her jewelry. Her shoes are pretty cool.
I love her shoes.
They're
like translucent kind of a little bit, and I love the design on them. It's really elaborate. She is so much red.
She is. That's fine.
Yeah, this screening definitely has an interesting effect with those like super light eyebrows. But I think it makes her a very unique Agnes.
Yeah, she has a very classic look to her. Alright, so that was the FR Convention Collection dolls. So let's move on to the new face ones. First up is Varsity Alejandra Luna.
This is only the second time we have ever seen Alejandra Luna. She is a new character. I know that the sports theme was very polarizing at this year's convention. We'll maybe get into that even more next video. But this Alejandra was pretty popular. It seemed like she was definitely one of the more well-liked dolls of the convention collection, and yeah, she's lovely in person. I really like this screening. I think her whole palette is very different from Billion Dollar Batty, and something that kind of impressed me is, at least the one I got here, her hair is so thick. Like it's such like a thickly rooted and just voluminous kind of ponytail. It looks really pretty.
And it's like her hair is like a blend of different colors too. And I mean, her hairline is great on here. I definitely love that streak of lavender eyeliner. I really love that lacy shirt or bodysuit she has underneath. If you take a look, it's kind of like almost like it's double layered.
So I think overall, I might like this Alejandra more than her debut release. I think it's so funny because both Alejandras have been so thematic and like bold in their look. This one, I really like the whole package. Even though I'm not really, as we discussed in the prior videos, I'm not much of a sporty athletics person like in dolls, but I think her design has much more of like just a visually appealing high fashion spin on the concept. And also I love this like it almost her jacket almost has like a sheen to it, kind of. It's like a really like a really creamy white that has like a bit of a sheen to it. It's really pretty in person.
Yeah. Oh, and I love these like little, I don't know, they almost look like little like pockets on her sleeves.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
Yeah.
That's so like fashionable.
I know.
Oh, I didn't even realize that was a thing.
Yeah, that was
so cute.
It wasn't apparent on the promo images.
That's adorable.
But yeah, it sets it apart from like an average kind of like jersey. Or, is it a jersey? I don't know, correct us. Her nails are really pretty as well. They're lavender with little darker purple tips.
Cute.
It also applies to her grip hands. Her shoes are cool. They have a fashion inspiration, which we will put on screen here. I don't think we talked about it last time, but the shoes are pretty cool. They zip up in the back, luckily, right?
Yes.
Yes. Her earrings are old. They're reprints. They're reprints of Neo Look, Adele's. I was surprised they were able to incorporate in her and make it work. But they have little pearls on them, which is kind of cool.
Super cute.
She comes with a little hat that has a elastic on the back to touch her head, so that's kind of nice, easy to put on.
Oh, so much easier. Okay, so is this almost like a visor? No, it's a hat.
It's like a hat,
but
hat
it's
almost.
yeah.
Yeah. Her lunch bag is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, she doesn't come with much. She does come with a second pair of shoes. Second pair of feet, not a second pair of shoes, which is unfortunate. I wish they included a second pair of shoes because where am I gonna get the shoes from?
What I like about her too is, unlike some of the other sporty dolls in the convention, I think you have some fashion pieces here that could be mixed and matched, and they could still look just really fun and fashionable, even if you're not necessarily going for a hyper sporty theme. Love this jacket, and yeah, like
that bikini top. I've seen people reuse it elsewhere, and it's pretty nice.
Really pretty, yeah.
I wish it comes with a pair of like matching panties as well.
Maybe.
She does not.
Well, it's a bodysuit, right? Is it a bodysuit?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she doesn't come with panties.
So next up, we have Endpoint, Elaine Perrin. As we mentioned in the prior videos, she is a combination of ballet and motocross inspiration. You know, this doll is, I think, going to be another polarizing one for this convention. I mentioned this in our first impressions video that I wasn't hugely connected to the doll herself. I was more interested in the outfit. And even the outfit, now that I'm seeing it in person, there's a lot going on. There's so many belts, there's a lot of tulle, and it's just such a loud, bold look that I feel like there's only going to be so much you can do with this.
One thing I noticed just like straight out the box, which I didn't know, or I don't know if the promo images did a good job of showing, is the way that her sheer top is constructed. It gives her like really large shoulders. Like
it does. It makes her shoulders really broad. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that. I think it's I think it should have been more form-fitting. It just looks really bulky on her. It makes her, like, her top very bulky. So I wish she came with like another top or something. I think it would be more usable. I mean, the skirt itself is really pretty. It kind of nicely constructed, and I'm glad they kind of did the belts for us so we don't have to.
And you have the option of like the really risque, like BDSM leaning, like,
what is that called? Strap?
yeah, kind of like the harness bra top. It's very fun, very risque, but I don't know, this whole aesthetic and like this whole outfit, I don't know if I feel like it pairs well with this very kind of stern but soft looking Elaine. Like, I feel like, I don't know. there's just a lot of different concepts here that are combined in really interesting ways. I'm also going to be very curious how well these shoes, which they were, as we mentioned before, specifically constructed for the flat feet. Yes. Correct? Because yeah, you're supposed to like angle the foot downwards, so it does look like she's actually standing on point. They look a little squished in person, so I'm very curious how well this is going to work out, just like functionally speaking. Yeah, this doll is like a really interesting situation. So I'm going to be very curious, you know, to see, you know, I've already been seeing definitely people photograph her and, you know, doing different things with this outfit, which are very fun.
So her hat, it kind of reminds me of Raina's hat. With like a different like, visor area. Well, it looks like different. Like the front part is different, but it has like the studs on the top, and it has that comb that you stick in her hair. Once again, her hair is so tightly like slicked back that I think a comb through her hair would actually damage it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't recommend it, but it is an option if you are willing to risk that. But yeah, so there's a comb in here. Her purse is really cute. Cute little purse. Totally reminds me.
I love the little Lizzo mini purse. Yes. I mean, if it were even, I would like it if it were even smaller, if that was what they were going for.
Yeah.
I think keeping it functional would get very difficult at that point, but.
Yeah. But it's like a reprint.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a lot of reprints here within the same year span, so. Her accessories, nothing to call home about. They're all gold.
Yeah.
So next up we have Poppy Parker. This is Silver Soiree. I know both Max and I were pretty like underwhelmed with her. So I'm curious what we think about her in person.
Well, I can tell you right off the bat that, you know, my first impression of her was pretty blasé. And if anything, it might have gotten even more blasé in person. She's pretty. I just feel like she doesn't offer much of anything unique. The outfit just really reminds me of young romantic Poppy, and we've gotten, as we've said 1,000 times, we've gotten so many blonde Poppies. Something Sang mentioned is that she might be a decent replacement if you missed out on the Luxe Life Build-A-Doll Poppy. She's like somewhat similar. Is she this cream skin tone?
Her?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
So I remember that was like the big deal about
it was like the first
Build-A-Doll.
time,
It was
yeah.
the first cream Poppy.
No, she's Japan.
Okay.
So they're different skin tones.
Yeah.
But they're like the very pale skin tones.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the promo images shows her beads as clear, but in person they're silver.
They're very silver.
Yeah, they're clear, right? Right? Maybe it's a little trick of lighting, but I'm pretty sure they're clear in the promo images, right?
Yeah, that looks really
like,
different.
especially the ones near her armpit. You can like where it's not on the fabric is clear.
Yeah, I might have preferred that. I think it would have been more striking.
I think the silver one makes more sense. Her name, Silver Soiree.
Yeah.
I have never seen something so different beating. Yeah. I like her. I think if you were like a newer Poppy collector and you don't have a blonde Poppy that's a bit more of like a neutral tone, she'll be a good Poppy to like be able to play with and redress. I think she's so neutral tone. But like Max said, this particular Poppy has been done before.
Our expectations are a bit high for the convention collection Poppies because there have been some really stunning convention collection Poppies. I mean, granted, you know, Poppy was the Style Lab this year, so.
This purse, it's been done before. I've seen this purse before on a Poppy too. Yes. Her shoes are very basic as well. They're just silver shoes.
This is a very silver soiree. Yeah.
Yep.
I like her earrings. Earrings
yeah,
are cute.
yeah. I mean, this bracelet has been done forever, but it's nice to have clear gems. Then there's her veil.
Yeah. Such a... Yeah, all the Poppies this year were either going to or in the case of Ginger potentially crashing a wedding. but yeah,
I think you have to understand that we're coming from like kind of like hardcore Poppy collectors. I want to say that she is a beautiful doll, but when there's so many Poppies released yearly and we've been collecting for a while, you know, you're gonna end up having a lot of repeats. But if you are a newer Poppy collector or you're just getting into Poppy from another line, she is still a gorgeous doll.
I don't think she won't be a must-have for folks who already have a lot of Poppies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some tulle underneath her skirt. Oh, and no panties.
So next up we have Black Ice Victoriaroux from East 59th, and as we mentioned, if you were shown this doll and you weren't aware of the line she was from, your guess would not be East 59th. She is very bold. You know, it's very interesting the fact that right in box she's wearing the pink jacket, which is cute, but for me, the latex bodysuit, I think, is definitely the defining feature of this doll and the thing that makes her so fun and so striking. So I think the jacket is immediately gonna go. For me personally, I really want to see her in that latex look. And I will say, I was really curious how it would feel in person.
Max, quit running it so hard.
It does feel really nice.
Yeah.
It does have a very silky, slightly rubbery kind of latex feel to it. So I am excited to get her out and dress her up, even though my Victoire is horribly wonky and she's going immediately to patient care.
Not that bad of a person.
One of her eyes is absolutely larger.
It's similar to mine. She is gorgeous here. She is giving so much.
American Horror Story?
Yes.
Okay. This... something I'm gonna say about this, her little half mask in person. Love the design, so cool, so fun. It uses a magnet. So
she comes with a magnet earring that you can put it on her ear, and then you attach that to that.
Really cool, but what I'm noticing here is this looks like it's going to end up being a very delicate piece. I mean, look at the cut here. Look how thin and like frayed
I'm so
that
scared.
is. Yeah, that concerns me a bit. So I'm just gonna say be very, very cautious with that, because I feel like you could very easily just like rip that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so.
Careful. Hold it. She is a contender for the best doll of the convention for me.
Love her. She's great.
She's gorgeous. She did not come to play around.
No. Oh my gosh, her extra hands. So what I love about her spare hands is it almost feels like it's trying to have the effect of fingerless gloves, or maybe in theory you could say she has those crazy nails like installed onto the gloves, but she has painted hands, but they still have the manicured
long nails.
It's like a deep gold long nail. Yeah, really cool.
I mean, there are gloves with like fake nails.
Yeah, it has that kind of effect.
But yeah, those are really cool. I think those are very unique hands. Even just getting the hands by themselves are pretty cool.
I feel like her with just in the latex bodysuit with the mask on and the like the cape or the veil, the coat that goes over it, I think she will make an incredibly striking display doll. I think she'll just be so cool, and we're probably going to open her today because I need to.
Okay. The thing with Chris is he gives you great value. Like, he didn't have to give you this beautiful pink jacket on top. I think she would have sold just with the lace coat and the bodysuit, but definitely this coat is very nice, the pink one. You can definitely put it on a different doll. So, thank you, Chris.
There's also like a little piece of paper in the accessory compartment saying, please use the special magnetized earring instead of the regular earring in the doll's right ear to magnetically attach the mask to the doll's head. So up next we have Belle Marie Poppy, and this was the centerpiece to the Poppy Parker event.
She is gorgeous. I love her. She's stunning. Interestingly, I know some people were complaining or had issues with her lipstick being maybe too matte looking, or it looks like almost chalk-like. I don't have that issue in person. She looks smooth. It looks nice. Nothing wrong with it. It is definitely the style.
Yeah, I think she's lovely.
Her eyeshadows, very
Really pretty.
bold and pretty.
Yeah, I was trying to look up her promos a moment ago because I remember when I very first opened her and looked at her out of box, I was like, oh, she has a little, I don't know, something about her, the impression is like slightly different from the promos. I think it's just, yeah, she is very lit up in the promos. This, in person, it doesn't feel like she's wearing heavy makeup. It feels like this is very like tasteful makeup. So it's a very elegant wedding look, which something Sang mentioned in our last video too is that this is a pretty modern looking wedding gown. It doesn't really look like the era of Poppy that was kind of, well, because wasn't it the style out was supposed to be 70s?
Early 70s.
Early 70s. Yeah, this definitely looks more recent than that. But I love the rhinestones on the bodice. Lovely. Well, what I particularly like is there's different pieces. I actually think, are there 3 different types of, because there's the clear beads.
There's the pearl
Clear
looking
beads, there's the pearl looking ones, and then there's the little like gem studs.
Yeah.
So that I really like, because usually when we see like the studded or decorated, you know, bodices and stuff like that, it's the same piece over and over again. There's variety on here. It's really pretty.
Yeah, and there's embroidery, like white embroidery on here.
Her jewelry is lovely. Yeah, very very classic.
Yeah.
Oh, and the flowers. I want to see the flowers. Wait, are these?
That's her bouquet.
Is this the only flowers she comes with?
Why does it look different?
Yeah, the flowers look prettier in the promos.
But you have to fluff it.
But you might need to, yeah.
I want to see her bun.
Yeah.
We should open her. Yeah, I was really curious about her. Like, okay, we'll look at it later. But yeah, her hair bun looks cute. I'm excited to take her out later and show you guys. We'll have her image here. So you can see the bun. Yeah, she has like, how many layers of tools does she have? 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. And then there's the fabric.
Chiffon.
Silk.
Silk.
Yeah, underneath. Does she have panties? No, she does not.
Going commando to her wedding.
I
mean,
I'm sorry. If she had a pee in this dress, she would not want underwear on.
That's true.
She does have leggings though.
Yes.
Yeah. But everything else is cute. Her shoes are cute. Her veil's right here, has a little bow tie on it, and little pins to stab into her head.
Yeah. It is a very interesting bun.
Yeah.
Something I will say, the tulle at the bottom, well, I don't think it'll really be an issue because it's like the mermaid dress effect where, you know, it fans out at kind of the bottom. But this looks just as susceptible to snagging as the tulle on Masquerade Magic Poppy. So I would say be very careful if her hands or nails or anything sharp gets near this.
Yeah, for sure. So finally, our final centerpiece is from the final gala, and this is Sovereign Adelma. And she is, I think she was our favorite doll from the convention overall. So I'm curious what we think about her in person, even though Max probably looked at her already.
Yes.
Oh, I want to fix her bangs for you. There you go.
Wow.
I know.
You usually just tuck it behind.
Yeah, tuck it behind.
It works.
Yeah.
She is lovely. I am a huge fan. Yeah, we mentioned even after seeing the promos, I think for me, it's between her and the fully dressed darling Poppy Parker in terms of my favorite doll from the convention. I think, if I recall correctly, there were some folks like citing issues online with her hair. I know in terms of like the little curls that kind of stem from her hairline they can all, you know, be kind of poking out in different directions. But yeah, Sang just tucked one of them behind, and it looks perfect now. It looks lovely. I love her hair. You know, I love the curly updo. You know, I really love the colors in her hair. It's a lovely screening. Definitely getting Beyonce vibes from her, which is really cool. I know, I think, like, didn't Jessie Ayala explicitly, like, said that she was kind of, like, Beyonce themed, or didn't he mention Beyonce as, like, an inspiration?
I have no idea. I don't remember. I don't think
I
so.
thought we brought that up in our video. You can fact check that.
I think
But
Alon said that. I don't know if Jessie.
maybe Alon said that. But yeah, she's really pretty. It's really interesting how this outer coat feels both simple and intricate at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. And the whole, like, how it you know, cuts off at one half and then drapes to the bottom on the other.
Yeah.
It's a very regal, royal aesthetic.
Yes. I am not 100% behind the asymmetrical look of the coat. I think that's a little too high fashion for me. But yeah, like the beading and embroidery on here is gorgeous. Some collectors was concerned about the fabric material on the coat. They were concerned that it might be kind of like that, like umbrella material, like the water resistant material. It does kind of have like a texture that might make it look like water resistant, but it looks fine to me. It's definitely not the same texture as like an umbrella. The other thing I kind of wish they did was, so the front kind of has kind of the faux opening. There's a hook and string in the back of the coat. That's how you take her out of the coat. I wish that was in the front, like a real jacket would be.
The longer dress she's wearing is a really lovely color. I was worried that I would find it a bit too simple, you know, or just like kind of basic in person, but it's actually very pretty. It has a nice texture to it, and a bit, you know, a nice shimmer, and it like teeters between a creamy white and an almost like rose gold, sort of, depending on like the angle you look at it from.
I wouldn't say this rose gold.
Probably not rose gold, but like
it's almost like a tan to me.
Yeah, almost more like yellow leaning than brown.
Yeah.
It's a really pretty color. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I was initially gonna say, I was like, it's interesting that so many of her jewelry pieces are black. I don't know if I would have made that choice, but I guess most of the rest of her color palette is like black and gold, more or less. But black, like gemstones and jewelry give off, I feel like, a very specific aesthetic. I might have appreciated slightly more color pop in the jewelry pieces, but it is very regal looking.
Yeah. Her bag is like kind of simple. It's just kind of like a scrunch bag.
I feel like this thing would trigger your
Yeah.
whatever phobia. It's like, that's totally like pustules right there.
Ew. Yeah.
It's a lot of like little dots all in a cluster. I also just think the design of that just isn't my favorite.
Maybe it wasn't black.
That's the whole thing, is I wish, yeah, the black gems just have a really different effect from like
Let's
colorful
just put it
gems.
away for now. Anyways, her bag is fairly simple. It does its job. It's like there's no design really on it. It's kind of like a scrunchy bag with like a little gold chain and a little tassel.
A little tassel, so cute.
Kind of cool. She comes with 3 pairs of hands: holding hands, glove hands, and then her signature kind of long manicured hands.
So something I really love about her heels, there's a metallic gold strap that goes over, that kind of like wraps around the back heel. And when I saw it, I assumed it was like, oh, that's probably gonna be like fabric or something like that. It's tough. So it actually stays in place. So that's actually nice. I feel like that might make it easier. That might make it easier to put the shoes on and keep them on. Nice.
She comes with quite a few things, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah, she's definitely one of the biggest grails from this convention. I think, and you know.
Yeah, universally, she's probably the most liked doll.
Yeah.
Final thoughts? Anything we want to say about the convention in real life so far? I think, again, the price increase does make me wary about what we actually are getting. Most of these dolls are 160 and up, or actually all of them 160 and up. And I don't think we get the same amount of quality as we did in previous years. Some of them are standout. Adele is gorgeous, but again, she's $180. So I'm expecting a lot with a $180 doll. But she's pretty much worth it. Again, I understand that we're just talking about retail prices because we were able to get in the convention. But even that, she is a pricey doll, and it is very expensive to attend. And I wish we got a little bit more with some of these dolls. But I think I like them a little bit more in person. I mean, the theme is all over the place still. And, you know, as you stick them all in a room and you probably wouldn't have any idea that they all are from the same convention.
People would assume they're from like 8 different conventions.
Yes.
Yeah, I think specifically when we're talking about the convention collection and centerpieces here, definitely the word I keep using is polarizing. I think this was a very polarizing convention as a whole. You know, people had a lot of strong reactions and had very strong opinions on different dolls, which, you know, I'm sure we'll get even more into in the next video. I'm wanting to say it's kind of interesting that this convention collection didn't really produce any of the biggest hits in the convention, which is unusual, historically speaking, because usually there's at least one super coveted doll, like Lux Life, Giselle, or Naja, London Show Naja, you know, but that was kind of absent from this year's convention collection.
Yeah, definitely. There's not like a holy grail right off the bat with this collection. Again, it could be a combination of things where like the reception of them were pretty lukewarm. Also, the edition sizes of these dolls are so large as well. It's hard to go to a convention and the only thing you see are the promo images. And I wish in the future they would, if they can't get these dolls in person right away at a convention, like they're gonna do another virtual convention, I wish they would have kept the prototypes and showed off those dolls. The ones that they use for the photography. I think that would probably be a bit more easier to sell dolls if people actually see the doll itself instead of a couple photos.
Yeah, we kind of already talked about it in the prior videos, but I think they need to make every effort to show off these dolls to attendees of virtual conventions, you know, beyond just like promo images, because promo images can sometimes misrepresent, you know, colors, or even if they're the prototype and anything was changed since then. I think when it comes to convention especially, you know, it's very important for the attendees to see the finished product as is, especially because they have such a limited amount of time to, you know, to make the decision to purchase. You know, I mean, we didn't get very many centerpieces this year, but the centerpieces was it just 2? Yeah. The 2 centerpieces were both strong. You know, I'm a big fan of both of them. The main takeaway is this convention was very all over the place. It was not a focused theme, but there's most definitely some keepers, some gorgeous dolls, you know, and some of them I did enjoy more in person. Alejandra is lovely. And once again, just reiterating the sentiment that hopefully someday, fingers crossed, we will eventually get an in-person experience when it's safe and appropriate, because I really miss that. And like maybe some of my decision making would have been a little bit different in my purchases if I saw all of these dolls in person beforehand.
Yeah, so that was our first part of our convention haul. Day 2, again, will be the Style Lab as well as the souvenir dolls. And I feel like the receptions of those dolls are much warmer. So stay tuned and see if our feelings changed. And I'm going to tell you some of them have changed since we saw the promo images. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell button if you haven't already. And we will see you next time.
Bye.